and maybe 20 or something.
0.6.
Cheated to get a little bit closer to where we're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Call the meeting to order. Geneva Town Council meetings are now live streamed and recorded. Your participation in the meeting is your consent to the recording and rebroadcasting of the meeting on the town's YouTube channel. If we'd all rise and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Let the roll call reflect that all council members are present, our clerk and our deputy clerk are present, all department heads are present, and our town attorney is present. You should have the minutes from the May 12th, the May 20th, and the May 27th meetings. You should have had a chance to look them over. If there are no changes or anything, I would recommend a request to have a motion to approve as submitted for all three.
So moved.
I'll second.
Is there any other further discussion or questions? If not, all in favor of approving those minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. There are no citizen comments. Monthly department reports. Police, you're first.
All right, with our report, after I finally figured out how to get it sent out this morning, it was hanging in our drafts folder. Should have had an additional report. That was our speed patrols on West Line Street. We did make a few stops, however, overwhelmingly there wasn't a significant amount of people speeding, so but that you've got that report, all the numbers, the different different times of days and so forth are there. And then if there was any action taken, it was denoted with that. Other than that, National Night Out is coming up. It's in August. It's August the 4th. From 6 to 8. In the past, we've used Decatur Street from Line down to Shackley for that event. Like I said, we're hosting it from 6 to 8. We'd like to have the okay from the council to have possession of that street and block it off to traffic somewhere in the neighborhood of about 5 to somewhere around 9, just to give time for setup and tear down after the event.
Yeah, I make a
That's
motion.
always
to
by
shut it down.
consent.
Dan makes a motion to approve. Have a second.
Yeah, I'll second. Sure.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of granting that request to close Decatur Street from Line to Shackley on the date specified, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
You will notice on our activity log, we had a significant increase in our VIN checks, which also include our golf cart checks. We do our monthly Memorial Day weekend golf cart checks out at Amishville, so we done about 60 or so out there, I believe. Other than that, one thing that did come up through discussions within our department and some other folks, there's some concern. We've heard some grumblings about people on the trail not feeling safe, not feeling comfortable walking out there by themselves and so forth. So we're looking at the potential for an e-bike. If it's okay with council and you don't care, I wouldn't mind applying for a grant for an e-bike. my hopes are 100% grant to cover the cost of that. That'd give us the ability to go out and stretch out a little bit on the trails and just provide some visibility out there. I'm looking at one of the Community Foundation grants. Like I said, that's 100% grant.
Do you know if Burns had the same concerns expressed?
I have no idea. Nobody's said anything from up there that I've heard. So I know that our stretch of trail from up to 850 is along the highway. There's some concern with from the trail along the highway back toward the covered bridge. There's no visibility there. Up in the north half of the county on the River Greenway, the Sheriff's Department takes their ATV out, patrols it occasionally. I think Decatur goes out there occasionally, but down here there's nobody that's doing anything with the trails. So, like I said, that would just give us a little bit of visibility on our, when we would do that, we would have a second officer on, just like Brad's on tonight, our reserve. We make sure that we always had an officer in a car that could respond immediately to emergencies. So, if one of the officers, or myself would, like this evening, we want to go out and ride the trail.
Do you know who covers the trail from, say, 850 to 700?
Anything north, technically anything north of 950 is the county's.
Which,
So there's nobody on the trail.
well, and that's where the trail leaves 27 for a long
Correct.
ways, right? Behind Simon Step and all that stuff, that's,
Yeah,
from an EMS perspective, it's problematic.
absolutely.
Because they're so far off the highway, I don't really have access to them.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure whether or not if there was something that would happen if I would even be able to locate without somebody being able to figure out where they're actually
Right.
at. So that's something
Yeah.
I probably will look into this week.
We do, we'll drive up to 850. Actually, we drive to the sale barn because it's a safe place to turn around, just so that we can monitor the trail along 27. Like I said, it's a real easy view from 27 up that far. But
And then all of a
farther
sudden
north
it's
of
a
there and then
quarter
toward the
mile
covered
away.
bridge,
Yeah.
there's no visibility. And I just, like I said, thought that would give us the opportunity to get out. We can use the bike for other for other things too, trick or treat times, festival times, different things like that that's going on in town, and give us an opportunity to get out, interact with people, do some PR, interact with kids, push our helmets, helmet safety and things like that. It would just, like I said, and my hopes would be that through the grant that it would be no cost to the town that we could acquire it.
I think we have a consensus to go ahead and
Absolutely.
do that, see what we can find.
Okay.
I would also suggest talking to Tim and Byrne and seeing
Sure.
what they're going to do or what they're doing, if there's anything. And even maybe talk to the county just to, so we've got kind of a thing going here. I mean, yeah, we're taking the lead on this and stuff, but we shouldn't be taking the lead on it. Somebody's got to do it, so
Yeah.
let's see what we can find out.
So
Other than that, that's all I've got.
you want to see if he can get the grant, or you want to wait till after he talks to Byrne in the county?
No, I think we'll go ahead and look for the grant and
See if we can get the grant.
go with that. I think there's a consensus for that, and then the additional, let's look into what we can do to maybe find something there and kind of relieve some of this anxiety that some of the users have. One quick thing on the utilities cost for the building over here. It was pretty high this month. Do you have any reason why? I hate to catch it, put you on the spot like that.
I never see the numbers for that building, so I have no idea what it's running. I know for a while there was, they changed the meter or something out, and I don't know if it had been changed in the system yet. I have no idea. That's a y'all
I think
question.
it's been changed and you'll see a difference going forward.
Okay.
But it went up twice as much as what it had been just this last month, which was weird.
Okay.
We worked over there a little bit when we was doing the painting and stuff, ran some water.
We didn't
But
have any water leaks or anything.
that's what I'm aware of.
Because the bill was like $725, which is extreme.
Yeah, like I said, I never see the numbers over there, so I have no idea what any of the utilities cost over there.
Along with that, where are we at with the possibility of moving over or what needs done yet?
Well,
Can you give us an update?
we've got the drywall is pretty much done, all the patching and the holes of everything they had on the wall. We got some of the painting done. We got some of the desks moved into the office. Our biggest hang up, and that's what Matt and I even discussed today, is it seems like a fight with county IT getting information out of them. They were supposed to provide us additional vendors that we could call for quotes that met their standard for what needed to be put in over there. And we've been asking since snow was flying, and that we just seem to keep getting forgotten about. So
I thought the county was gonna hook us up, but the reason we didn't use them price, or? Because they were gonna hook us up, we thought, for around that 10,000 for the fiber.
the first quote we got was around 13,000, and that was the group that done this building, and their work was not the highest quality, nor the messes they made.
So we were looking for somebody else maybe to give us.
So according to the county IT folks, they were supposed to work, they told Matt and I they would provide us with at least 2 other vendors that could come down to provide us quotes. And like I said, that's when it was still cold outside, and we keep asking and we get nothing.
Is there something we should do? I mean, I don't know if the council can do anything to get that done?
I don't know what, like I said, we keep asking, and oh yeah, we'll get this to you, we'll get this to you, and you know, it's the same fight with them getting anything done.
Would have heard count talking to one of the commissioners.
Yeah, I'm up for talking to anybody if it gets us results.
Let's get a hold of Doug Bauman, since he's our representative, and talk to him and see what we can do from there.
You know, it's been a fight there. I mean, Matt will probably talk about it. I mean, they still haven't finished up everything that was supposed to be done a year ago when they put stuff in, so.
Okay.
Yeah. And other than that, I talked to Neil Potter. He's out in Colorado. He's supposed to be back in the next week, and he'll be getting with me to give us a quote on rekeying the buildings and what that's going to take. I think it's done.
Anything else?
Nope, I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Fire department, Mark?
Everybody should have received my report. As you see, last month had a little bit higher call volume than normal. We had 21 calls, and majority of those calls came in the last 10 days of the month. So Memorial Day weekend resulted in a lot of people getting out and doing things, I think. So unfortunately, people had some emergencies that need to be dealt with. Also in my report, to follow up from last month's topic, the sewer line that is cast iron, that is flaking inside. I've contacted Bloom and Reaver to see if they could jet the line out to clean it. And unfortunately, there's no clean out on the outside of the building to pull the debris out. So I've reached out to Leete Brothers. Tina, I believe, provided you the estimate that they've provided us to install a clean out for that sewer line. I think it's $1,788 is the estimate. So if the council would like to pursue that, or would like me to contact somebody else to get a secondary quote or estimate, do that as well.
I don't think it hurt anything to get a second quote.
Okay.
It's going to be done regardless. Is there some way too that we can line that old pipe so it doesn't flake like that, or is that something that's not?
To my knowledge, yes, it probably can be lined. I did not have any conversations with anybody about what that would entail or cost or any of that, so I'm not sure what that would be.
Looking on long-range plans, we either want to look at replacing that or lining it, whichever would be more cost-effective. So just something to think about.
Yep. So I'll get a secondary
Get a second
estimate.
quote, and we can go from there.
Okay. And then the other topic I'd like to discuss is in regards to when we train, a couple times a month, usually when it's nicer weather, so we're not dealing with freezing hydrants and other things. We'd like to flow water to be able to exercise the pumps, exercise the hose lines, get people time on utilizing the nozzles and deploying our tactics. Would I have the council's permission to, a couple times a year, use the hydrants for our training, as long as I do not exceed 20 to 30,000 for the year gallons of water?
I personally see no problem with that. Being an old Navy firefighter, I know the importance of being on the end of a hose. being able to tackle a hose if it gets away from somebody due to an injury. This is vital training that needs to be done, and you can't do it without live lines. I'd entertain a motion to allow the fire department to do that.
So moved.
Andrew? Harlan, second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of allowing this, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Passes, thank you.
Thank you. And I'll notify in my report when we do those trainings and we use waters, that way it can be accounted for the water department to do their monthly reports.
Yeah, and let Matt know too, so, and even Sally, so
Yeah.
when she sees some spike on the Neptune system, that we know why.
Yep.
Okay,
And then the last item is, looks like the application for the fire truck grant should be submitted hopefully by the end of this week.
okay,
Lexi Pohl, who's helping us write the grant, sent over a narrative yesterday. I reviewed that. Everything looks correct. So I think it's just going through the final process of them submitting everything to FEMA for us.
we have all the information we need and everything, no
Yes.
problem getting all that.
Yep. So hopefully we'll get that submitted by the end of the week. The deadline is June 22nd, so we're a couple weeks ahead.
And the earlier we get it in, the better.
Yes.
It's my opinion on it. Anything else?
That's all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Utilities, Matt?
Good evening. Should have all received my report. A couple things I just wanted to touch on is we did finish out all the hydrant flushing earlier in the month. Got that all done. Lift station 6 out on North Drive. We did put new rails and a pump installed in there. That has a dual system. So the other rails are going to be replaced here shortly, and should have that done here in the next couple weeks. But basically those rails had just almost rotted in half, and it was leaking, so we had to take care of those. Community crossing grant, you notice there's been some work going on in town. They are done with the ADA ramps now. Plan is for them, talking with Tyler today, that potentially start grinding the week of the 22nd. And they're going to kind of do this in conjunction with the work they're doing down there at Red Gold on William Street, trying to get all the trucks in town at the same time. And you notice that parking lot's empty down there now, so they're getting ready to start. You also seen in my PowerPoint presentation, I've got some pictures. I need some assistance getting the word out on grass being blown in the streets, especially High Street. There's 4 drains there that in my pictures that they're completely just clogged with grass. That debris, if not cleaned out, allows flooding. If it does end up getting down in the drain, that causes problems with our drains blocking up. So I just ask that if we can keep an eye on the storm drains and in the direction we're blowing our grass when mowing.
We have a bad foot case on Railroad Street too, that pile that needs to be watched. And I've noticed that a number of times when they mow that one lot there.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, anything you can help us on that would be appreciated to get that.
I couldn't quite hear what.
If there would be any help you can give us to get the word out about watching their grass being blown on the street and everything, we appreciate that.
Did get the doors are in for the well down at the water plant, and then the PD door, Fort Recovery confirmed those are in. We're just waiting on the contractor to give us timing when those are going to be installed. Hopefully that'll be here shortly. As talked about in the nuisance committee this morning, heavy trash day I felt was pretty successful. We ended up filling 5 dumpsters full. Got a lot of help from the youth council, so appreciate that help. And then those of you in the room that were here, do appreciate that. And then I didn't see it on the agenda, but I'll go ahead and speak about the IT since it's part of my job here. We did receive some information from the incumbent service provider. If we would decide to go elsewhere, we would be losing our firewalls, switches, and things like that. Talking with a secondary source, if they was to come in and have to repurchase all that equipment, It could be in excess of $100,000 for us to make a switch. So I guess at this point, my recommendation is to proceed with staying with our current supplier of services. I'll present that breakdown. We've had a meeting with ESI and those guys. We'll present that information, and then hopefully you guys can see that and be able to move forward with it. But it's just cost prohibitive to replace all that equipment right now. If it's something we want to look at in the future and get it in the budgets, we can do so, but my recommendation is to stay where we're at. Did get a phone quote from Bob from the county. This is to be branching out on our own. He is quoting, they're actually quoting replacing every phone that we have, because they said it is not compatible with the system that they're going to. So I've got to question some more of that. I thought that it should be. Because my understanding when we had meetings with them, it was basically taking the bill from county and moving it to Geneva. And I guess it's more than that now. So that quote is fairly new. So I've already started asking him some questions, but that's the feedback I've got so far is they want to replace all the phones. We did skinny down the list a little bit, but it was going to be like $3,800 one-time cost, and it was like $266 for a monthly service fee going forward. So the service fee I didn't think was so bad, but I'll put that information together and get that sent out to council, and then we can talk about that later and see what we want to do.
That monthly services for all the phones, 266.
Yeah.
How many phones would that be? Do you know?
I didn't bring that paper with me. It was,
I think you said 16, I think, when we were talking.
yeah, it's close to that.
But that's without the police, right? I mean, that was with the police.
Yes, that was with the police.
Taking those 4 or 5 lines off, right?
Well, I would assume the police would stay on our system because it's just phone.
Oh, you're just talking just phones, so it's
Yes.
not the other stuff.
Yeah, it's not our license for
Okay.
Microsoft or anything like that.
I think we were trying to pare down some of those phones because some of them we realized we don't really
Yeah.
need.
I've worked with Mark. There was, I think, 1 or 2 we was getting rid of down there. But most of the other places, I mean, there's one at the water plant, there's one at the wastewater, so those are necessary for emergency reasons. But I'll share that information.
When we went with the county's phone system, did we have to put all the phones in there?
I think we did.
Does anybody
Yeah.
remember?
Mark is saying, yeah.
They got all those NEC phones that are probably gonna.
Yeah, all the phones we have now, when we went to the county and provided that. That was 15 years ago.
It was a while ago that we got those.
Okay.
But yeah, the phones were, I think the quoted phones were like $105 a phone, which when I looked online, that was fairly cheap compared to what I was seeing. So. But I'll send that information out.
Okay.
That was it.
Any other questions for Matt? If not, we'll move on to new business.
Thanks, Matt.
We are representative from Groundwood still. Backpack's still there. Is he on the phone? Okay, we'll go past and come back to it. 2026-1 resolution accepting the Joseph D. Stefanik real estate donation and establishing conditions and restrictions. I have before me here a resolution that was prepared. We have all the whereases and everything on there. It says, whereas the Stefanik family desire to donate to the town of Geneva, Indiana, certain real estate consisting of approximately 0.15 acres located within the town, more particularly described as in-lot number 416 in the David Studebaker addition to the town of Geneva. The donor desires that the property be utilized primarily as a community garden for as long as practical. Well, further, whereas in a utilization of the property of a community garden is determined to be impractical, the donation desires that the property be utilized solely for park and recreational purposes. And whereas the donor further desires to retain personal privilege during his lifetime to utilize the eastern 30 feet of the property for his own personal gardening. And whereas the town council finds the acceptance of the property subject to the terms and conditions set forth herein is in the best interest of the town resident. Now therefore it be resolved by the town council of the town of Geneva, following acceptance of the donation, the town council hereby accepts the donation of the property from Joseph B. Stefanik, subject to the terms, conditions, understandings, and restrictions set forth in the resolution, and the deed conveying the property to the town. And we go on more legal terms and everything. I think, looking through it myself, I think this is very acceptable, and I would entertain a motion from council to accept this. Arlen?
I'll second.
Agnes? Is there any other discussion? And I'll call for the question. Accept resolution town number 2026-1 as presented and discussed. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Joe did stop by my office about 2 weeks ago and signed the deed, so I've just been sitting on it until this passed. I'm going to record it tomorrow.
Okay, good.
It'll be the notice.
Michelle Langridge from the Adams County Council on the Aging.
Hi, everyone. I want to introduce, she's going to hand out, this is my new marketing communications coordinator. She's also my assistant. She wears a lot of hats with the agency. Her name is Leah Coop. She is with, she comes from Fort Wayne area, Homestead, and then she went to the College of Charleston for public health, and I snagged her when she moved back to the area. So she's been a wonderful addition since December, and she just does anything and anything that we ask. So I believe I know all of you, but just a little bit of a recap. Council on Aging's been around 53 years. We transitioned to public transportation in 2024. We finally made it through our 2 phases of demonstration phase with NDOT. If you want to flip to the second page, I just have some of our stats on there. So it's really exciting to see when you compare 2 public transportation years, 2024 and 2025, you can see the increases are pretty steady. Fares are pretty steady, the ridership's pretty steady. That's quite a jump in ridership. And then if you look at the last page, that's the most exciting in my opinion, that currently when you compare January through May of 25 through January through May of 26, we're at a 62% increase in trips. And if you look, I think what's really exciting about that is well-being is doubled plus some, and so is employment. So when we expanded our office hours from 8A to 4P, and we went 6A to 6P, we're really able to capture a lot of the workday of people who need transportation. We can get them to and from work, and that just shows what a benefit this expansion has been for the whole county. We take people from one end of the county to the other. The well-being trips, I love to see that, in that we are taking, wives, mothers, daughters, loved ones to visit others where in the past maybe that wouldn't have always been able to happen. So really keeping people independent, getting them out in the community is our main goal. In transportation, fares are up, ridership's up, so we do take quite a few students to and from school. When riding the actual school bus isn't an option, we are able to do that, and we take teachers as well. So really the benefits of our expansion has been wonderful. We are hopeful that we can count on the town of Geneva for support again this year. We've been partners with you guys for a lot of years. 2,500 is what we asked for this current year that we're in, and I was hoping for 2027 we could also get 2,500. The question has been brought up in our other meetings that we've been at. We are receiving increased financial support from federal and state. The federal support for this year is $250,000, but we also have to come up with $250,000 local money to match that. Otherwise, we are not able to receive that money. So that's where your support comes in. That's where we've been to the city of Decatur. We were at City of Bern. We have the commissioners next week, and then we have Monroe in another month. So that would be my request. Before we go any further with that, I'm gonna let Leah talk a little bit about fundraising, a big project we've been working on for a year. Some of you have already supported it. We really appreciate that, just to kind of get it out there and inform everyone what's going on with that.
So we are starting in 2025. Michelle draw the plans of the courtyard, which is connected to our senior center. And the whole goal of it is to have somewhere outdoor accessible for people in Adams County. That's a free space for them to go. So it's going to have a double shuffleboard, wheelchair accessible planners, handicap accessible doors, ramps, and all of that. We'll also have braille signage and speaker or sound system for people that have hearing impairments as well. So far we've raised almost 50,000. Our half of our goal is 95. We're partnering with the Way for a 50-50 grant. So the overall goal is 190,000. But yeah, we're almost to our goal. We've had over 80 donors, which is crazy. We had a fundraiser in February where we hosted a dinner on Lake Tuscany for over 160 people. We had a band, a silent auction, 50-50 raffle.
Leah and I cooked all the food.
Yeah, it's Italian themed. It was great. So we raised about $6,500 there. And then upcoming next week, next Friday, we're gonna have a senior information fair where we partnered with Bible Firm. And so all the profits for that will go to our courtyard as well. So
For the vendor booths.
yes, so
We encourage all of you to come.
yeah.
Not that you're seniors, but just if you know of any seniors who would like to come, it's next Friday, it's 10 to 2, and it's at the Merit Center in the gym. So I think we have 25 vendors, there's a free lunch
Next Friday.
next Friday. Yep. Are there any questions for us on the service we provide? All of our vehicles are handicap accessible. So that's awesome.
If there are no questions, do I have a motion to honor their request of a pledge of $2,500?
Make that motion.
Harlan? Stan?
All right.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Another
support.
pledge sheet for 27? That's what we're pledging is for 27?
This is the 26.
This is 26,
Yeah.
We already did that.
Yeah.
Will you have something for us to know we pledged 2,500 for 27? Isn't that what we just approved?
That's what you just approved, yeah, so I will send some next year.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Groundworks is still on phone apparently. Let's go with the 2027 fire contracts introduction. We should have a summary sheet of what the 26 rates were and what the proposed 27 rates were. 5% increase.
Yep.
And that is lower than the all often referenced quotient. I think that's 5.6, is that right, Agnes?
That's what they expect it to be.
So I would have a motion that we approve the fire contracts and allow Tina to pursue contact with the townships to work with them.
So moved.
Andrew?
Good with us? Second?
Second, Harlan? Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll call for the question on the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Pay application for his construction for the Swartz addition work. Need a motion to accept. That should be in your packet also.
$86,621.89.
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
You say that number again for just.
$86,621.89.
And who seconded? Stan? Any other questions or discussion? If not, all in favor of approving the pay application for Ish Construction, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We have had considerable correspondence between Choice One and Bun Construction regarding some maintenance warranty issues. They have been very reluctant, I would say would be the best term, of responding back or taking any action to correct some of the sinkholes that we have around ground because of the backfill, the way they did that. In a conversation today with Ryan, he sent me a letter with and you should have it in your packets also, of his email stream. One of the things that we have the right to do is pull their maintenance bond on the project so we can perform the outstanding items and get paid for them, is my understanding of how that works. Nick is just.
It's essentially submitting a claim to the jury.
And that's why you have those bonds, is if there's claims like this and they don't get resolved.
No brainer.
I would like to have a motion from the council to have Nick pursue the legal proceedings on this and get back with us with the way we need to go on this.
I'll make a motion to have Nick finish up the proceedings to claim some funds from the bond issue.
One thing I know.
I have a few comments during the discussion period.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Andrew? Discussion.
So I was only made aware of this afternoon, so I haven't had any chance whatsoever to really dig into what this entails. I called Ryan this afternoon, hoping he'd give me the lay of the land about what the procedure looks like, hoping they would just take the reins on this. He said he's never had to deal with something like this. He's not aware of anyone in their firm that's had to deal with something like this. It's a pretty strange procedure, but in this case, it's really all we have left. So I need to do some digging. I know there are a lot of contractual requirements and statutory requirements and deadlines and so on and so forth. So before it becomes too much of a time commitment, I will read into all that and keep you informed before I take it further. But yeah, I need to figure out who to contact and how to process it.
And hopefully these actions will spark compliance on their side.
Right, and Ryan and I, we discussed today, we're gonna work together on this to get the details sorted out, so, don't know if that's gonna, I assume that's gonna result in consulting fees on their end too, so. Whether that can be recouped in the end, I'll look into all that.
Will it cost us more to go through the process than it will for us to fix the sinkholes ourselves?
That's my question, first off, is do we have an idea what this may cost if we just pursued it ourselves and try to recoup those later?
How many sinkholes do we have?
There's at least 3, maybe 4 that I'm aware of. One out by the Caverman property on Lake of the Woods, one on Winchester at Keenan and Dwayne Booth's house. A area where they did the staging for materials there on Spring Street, which is Fields property. There might be another one, but it's going to take some dirt to fill it in.
Is it dangerous? Is it a public safety issue? These are all factors that have to be
The ones on Caverman and on Booth's, that I think is a danger because it's deep enough to fall in and somebody can get hurt if they fell into it. The one on Fields' property, it's caused flooding, which which wasn't there before they started this project. When they tore all the stone out and everything, they never properly backfilled it to the level that it was, and so there's casual flooding there.
So that's one of the things Ryan and I will figure out is if it's even cost effective to pursue this versus just taking care of it ourselves. So I think at this point, just set me loose with figuring out what needs to be done next and I'll report back.
Okay. And Tina, this copy here I have for choice one,
That is something that
this-
we have to add additional money, I believe, doing this new project with Ish. We've gone over our dollar amount
Oh, okay.
with that, and this is just approving, you just have to sign it.
Okay.
Do we know what the amount is we're approving?
Was it $15,000?
I feel like it was
But he said he doesn't expect to get
Yeah.
that amount.
Yeah, it's 15,000, it's on the second page at the bottom.
It's for SRF. They're requiring
Yes.
an amendment to the existing agreement to,
Yes.
So
to
all
release
those
those
other
funds.
numbers don't mean anything? 152,000? I mean, I'm just curious as to what we're paying here.
Well, it's gonna go up to, it looks like 152,000 potentially, but he doesn't think it's gonna be more than, because they're taking what they had and they're adding to it, is my
Yeah,
understanding.
the original agreement was for a total of $132,200. Depending on how you look at the chart, it can be a little confusing.
Okay.
But they're just tacking on an additional ceiling of $15,000, which Ryan expressed he doesn't expect to get to that point. But
Right.
it's so we don't have to do this again for SRF.
So we're adding 20,000 total. 132 to 152, 5,000 additional fee,
Oh, yeah,
15,000
there was-
additional fee. So it's an extra 20,000 choice one as well.
It says additional fees from previous amendments. Did we do this in the past? I don't recall. Did we do something just like this? Are we just adding 5?
I don't remember
Because it says
that.
additional fee $5,000.
Let me pull up his email real
But
quick.
it says
'cause-
original was
Yeah,
132.
I wasn't part of the email chain,
152.
so I just saw this afternoon for the first, or this morning for the first time as well, so. I'm a little out.
It's gonna add an extra 5,000 to the construction administration phase. They don't plan on using that, but.
So I misspoke, it's not 15,000, we're adding $5,000 to
yeah.
the ceiling. In the past, we had previously added $15,000 for a similar reason.
And it's coming from the SRF.
So we just need a motion to approve. We need to sign this.
Correct.
Do I have such a motion to approve, to sign this?
So moved.
Andrew? Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Stan? Any other questions or discussion? If not, all in favor of approving me signing this? Signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay. Question.
Groundworks guy.
Groundworks. Hey, it's your turn.
All right. Sorry for missing my time slot. I apologize. I got a phone call from our commercial division, actually right before I was supposed to go. And they wanted to change the solution that we have recommended to fix the water issue in the elevator pit. The reason they want to do that is because the solution that we have on the commercial side of things is a lot better and safer solution for the elevator shaft. So if you have a minute, I'd like to tell you about that product. It's called our Alcatech High Foamer. And basically what we'll do is we're going to create an exterior membrane, waterproofing membrane from the inside. So previously we had talked about doing our basement gutter solution, which is what we do inside of residential applications. And doing that the best we can with the space that we have to capture the water where it's coming in, get it to the sump pit, and then get it out. But with this solution, what we're going to do is actually, or what we have proposed to do is to core drill through the walls in an 18-inch grid pattern and the floor, and we're going to inject a polyurethane, a single part polyurethane liquid into those. Now that polyurethane liquid goes in and it attaches to any moisture on the outside of the wall. It uses that as like a channel, a pathway, to wick the solution, the polymer, into the outside, and we're going to create a single liquid layer that then hardens into a waterproof membrane all around the exterior of and underneath the elevator shaft. So, questions about that process?
Yeah.
There's all new information for you guys, so
Do we have any concern about how much water is coming in? Will there be pressure against this if the water is actually coming in and not just seeping from rain? Or, you know, do we know? Because we don't know where the water is coming from to cause this problem. We didn't used to have this problem, so what's happened that's caused this to happen?
So it seems the best of what I could see from the surface, without actually getting into the shaft, that the water is coming in through not only the walls, but where the wall and the floor meet, because in our experience, concrete is porous, especially concrete block. So the water travels from the ground side through the block, and then it fills up in those hollow cores of the block, and then it makes its way through through there, as well as in that gap between the block wall and the concrete foundation that the elevator is sitting on, because it's all they're all poured at separate times, which means that gap between the foundation of the floor and the wall, those separate pieces, and that's where the weak point is, where the water most likely comes in at.
Well, that's not quite what I'm asking.
Okay, then please
Yeah.
clarify your question so we're on the same
The
page.
water, is
Yes.
there, I mean, I don't expect you to know the answer, but maybe you have an idea. Is there a stream of water coming in under the building that we're not
Oh.
stopping? We're just putting something around this, but that
Yeah.
water will still happen. Will that cause pressure when it can't get
Yeah.
into this pit anymore?
Good question.
Because it has no place to go now.
Yep.
And so where will the water go? Like I
Yours-
said, I don't
your-
expect you to know, but maybe you can tell if this
Yes.
is water that's rainwater, or if this is water that's town water, or this is what?
The last thing Drew mentioned, but yes, you're speaking about groundwater, the water in the ground underneath the building, in the soil, in the pores of the soil. And that water is currently stacking up beside the walls, which causes what we say is hydrostatic pressure. That's the force of the water pushing on the elevator shaft in all directions. And the hydrostatic pressure is already there. Now this solution is going to create a barrier that blocks that water from coming in, but it's not going to actually manage the water and do anything with that water that's already there. And because the water that's already there, it's not causing the walls to bow in or tip in or move in any way. The pressure that the water is pushing on the elevator isn't going to be a concern in the future, because it's not causing any issues now. We want to block the water. The goal of this project is to stop the water from coming in, because the water that's coming in is causing corrosion on the elevator shaft components that are bolted to the floor, the hydraulic lines. I know we talked about some of those hydraulics already having been replaced. So the idea is we want to keep the water from coming in so we can protect the equipment we have.
So we may additionally have other problems. This is just gonna keep it from coming into the pit.
This is just going to block the water from coming into the pit.
Yeah, because we didn't have these problems years ago at all.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious as we could find out what the creation of the problem was, rather than just fix what we can see.
I think there is some way to test the water to see if it is city water, because city water has very specific chemicals in it with the chlorines and the additives. And I think there would be a way to test that to see if it's a leak from a public utility. But generally, the groundwater comes through, and what we find is water is the strongest force on Earth, right? You see in the Grand Canyons. And once it finds its way in through one point, then it starts to work its way around the entire perimeter.
What is the cost of using this membrane system?
So he's putting together the final details for that. He'll send it to me, but he gave me a range. He said it would be between $17,000 and $18,000 to do that portion of the project. With that, we do an initial installation to get the liner installed, and then we wait for a large rain event. We come out and do a check to make sure that there is no additional leaks. If there's water coming in through a specific point now, then we go in and retreat that area to solidify and complete the system.
The question might be to Matt. I don't know if you know yet, Matt, because of the time frame. Have we noticed a lot more water when we do have a large rain?
I don't think that we've seen a lot of water flowing in that.
It's been fairly consistent.
I mean, when we opened it up, there's, spots on the floor that are dry. I mean, it basically is following a path, but there's not like a flowing, a flow to the water.
So even if we have a large rain, we won't necessarily know if this did what it's supposed to do.
Well, it's currently seeping, is what we call it, because it's not like a stream of water, like you said. But the concrete is damp, and so you can see the areas on mostly the back side, the back corner towards the front, between the neighbor's building and the street side. That corner is where most of it seems to be coming in, based off the streaks of the water going across the floor. So once the system's installed, we'll have a fresh look at, everything being clean slate, and then we'll be able to identify any sources of it coming in specific locations.
I don't have any more. Maybe someone else.
These are great questions, by the way.
How long do you guarantee it?
So the warranty with this process, the warranty is set up to be a 1-year warranty for the water seepage, but that's intended for us coming out to do the leak test. And after the membrane is in place, it's inert, it's not moving, and nothing around the elevator shaft is changing, so there's not any reason for the water to come in the future down the road.
How thick of a coating is this on the block?
So because it's a urethane that expands, I don't know the final thickness as far as in like millimeters or whatnot, but it seeps into the actual pores of the concrete itself, so it becomes like one solid piece with the concrete of the block walls.
Okay. I think we need to wait for your additional information, and we'll take this under advisement and wait and see if we can get some more on this.
We'll probably have to get some more quotes to spend this much
Well,
money.
yeah,
don't we?
that's another thing too. It's because of the amount of money we're going to.
I'm not sure I know anybody else's
So,
17,
Yeah.
18.
And
17.
is this something where once we put together the proposal for the new project, separate from the one we previously discussed, we can bring this up for discussion on the next town council meeting? Is that what you had in mind?
I think we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very niche market to be able to waterproof an elevator shaft. I hope you can find other people that will give you a quote on it instead of showing up and saying, no thanks, we won't
I
touch
think
it.
an attempt is good
We're-
enough.
We're required by law to do that, so.
I know, yeah. Does that take into consideration people who tried to give you a quote, but they said we can't do the work?
It does, it does.
Okay.
If you're the sole source and we decide to do it, there's a process.
Yeah, of course there is, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
get that information to us and
Yep.
we'll put you on the agenda for next month to follow up. Any other questions?
That'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Moving on, we're into the old business now. Patient certification is on here again. We need to finally figure out what, how much, if, when, all the other factors that go into this certification. And so if we're going to give it as a stipend, how much? I'm just going to open it up for discussion.
Did some people do some study on what is being paid elsewhere? I know we talked about it before. I thought somebody was
I think
coming back with some
I
information.
think Burn does not charge anything. It's something that's going to be done on normal work hours. It's something that anybody can go online for about 6 hours and get certified. It's free. It's a free course. We just need to get this issue either off the agenda forever or pay something.
And that course is being done during work hours.
During those during down work hours too. It can be.
Do we know, I think we talked about before, maybe what some other towns have paid to have somebody, if they didn't have someone certified, paid to have somebody to do it. It was a little higher number than what we thought. Is that right? I don't know who had that number, who presented that. Something like that. Okay, So that company doesn't even offer it anymore.
Matt, what would you like to see?
I guess I personally haven't investigated it at all. I do know that we've got one that, it has a certification. I know that it is a requirement for community crossing grants. I haven't seen it in action. I don't know how long it takes. I do actually have LTAP training this coming Thursday with a group from Purdue, which should touch base on this certification a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe after that I'll be able to talk a little more intelligently about it.
So we want to table it one more time? One last time? Does that sound reasonable? All right, we'll table it one last time. Final decision will be made in July. We talked briefly about rekeying the police department, town hall, Matt, and Dwayne, do you have any additional to add to that?
Hopefully we'll have numbers next month. So we can come in next one and look at this. Potter. Neil Potter? Yeah.
Okay, reports from the clerk treasurer, wastewater cash operating depreciation fund.
So last year, in an effort to get more money into depreciation, which was a great effort, it's caused our wastewater cash operating to go down. And a couple of months ago, you all approved me to move 50 from depreciation to cash operating. I've actually reached out to Baker Tilly. They are recommending we go back to the way it was, which was 100% into cash operating, 0% into depreciation. And as time goes on, as long as we have 2 months of operating and maintenance costs in that cash operating, we could just manually, like we did this last time, you can approve me to move X amount of dollars into depreciation in order to kind of keep that built up. So I just need approval that it was worth a shot, and I thought it was a great idea, and it just didn't work out the way I wanted
What
it.
changed everything for us was all the bond issue for our wastewater project, which, you know, if you consider what that costs per year, it's about $70,000 or something. Well, that going into depreciation was great, but now we've got a bill to pay with it.
Yep.
We can't put it there.
So I just need permission to move it back to the way it was, 100% to cash operating. And
I'll make a motion that 100% goes to cash operating from your wastewater revenue.
A second.
Any other questions or discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approval of bank recon.
I'll make a motion to approve the bank reconciliation.
Have a second? Harlan? Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Motion passes. Approval of the May 2026 accounts payables. Motion to approve.
I can make a motion.
Second.
Andrew? Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of approving of the APV for May 2026, signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Any comments from the town attorney or updates that we need to know about?
One thing I just thought of, now that I'm involved with looking into the fund bonds process, if anyone receives anything from Ryan or Bun about the issue, please keep me in touch about that, loop me in, just so I'm aware. So, 'cause I know there are certain things that need to be done at certain times, like notices and all that, so just don't get to aware of that now that I'm involved. That'd be great. I don't think I'm really on Ryan's radar with this kind of stuff usually, so he doesn't usually think that we're doing this.
And Lynn, you said the windows are ordered? We got a
When
few
the windows
weeks.
are ordered, Toby Schwarzenegger and I had a conversation about that today. He thought it was a 4 to 6 week lead time. They ordered them a couple of weeks ago. They're anticipating first part of July to be able to start. Everything should be here and be able to start on that.
All right. And then the time capsule we discussed a little bit. We need to get that either in the ground or
I'll
on
talk to some
something.
friends tomorrow and see if I can make that happen.
All right. do we need any approval, like through the council to say where it goes, how it goes? Doesn't matter?
I don't think it matters.
Never happened.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me, I just,
Yeah.
nuisance
Committee updates, we had a nice meeting this morning, we got a number of people that are in compliant. We've seen significant changes, in the town cleanliness. When you fill up 5 40-yard dumpsters, something's gotta look better. And, we still have a couple of trouble spots, we're working on, possible legal action, or could be possible legal action, we don't know yet. But thanks to everybody that is cleaning up the property. Thanks to all the help we had at the town cleanup. Especially the youth council, them kids are, I'm still amazed watching them work. I mean,
They are hard workers.
they had fun doing it.
Even my girls are really hard workers. They're not afraid of hard work.
And there was a couple of them people that lifted some stuff I didn't think they could lift. So, next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, July 14th, 2026 at 6:30 here at the town hall. Unless something comes up, we need a special meeting for it. Watch our scheduled meetings on the live stream on YouTube channel, Geneva Town Hall. Being no further business come before the board, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.